Hello, welcome to Being Reintegrated. This is Tim Wright. So I got sick for a little while. I apologize for not making any videos. I mean, it's kind of like a reintroduction. And so basically what's going on is I have been working through a book by Renko Geffarth in German. It's a Brill book. I'll show it up here. But it's a Brill book, which I had, of course, GPT translate to English. It's simply a translation. It's not me going into the system asking about, things that are GPT oriented. So it's a translation that I'm reading and then critically studying. So in that, there's a lot of good stuff coming out of it. And that's why I wanted to make this video. Primarily what we're seeing, and this does relate to Martinism and the Elu Cohen and all of that, because what this study is it's a study on the 18th century Golden Rosenkreuz. It's a German order that came out of Freemasonry. It's very challenging to talk about. So I'll do my best, but my Patreon subscribers have access to this document, which, I translated just so we would be part of the conversation. So there's a lot of things that have to be covered. The first thing is that this was edited by Walter Hanegraaff. So Walter Hanegraaff is the second esoteric chair in the world of esotericism. The first was Antoine Favre, which everyone knows this stuff, so I apologize if it's a recap, but it's very important to what we're going to talk about. So Antoine Favre had 6 characteristics. I'm not going to name them all, but they were the ones that indicate what is an esoteric body of information. And so what happened is, as this went further into the academic conversation, it's the standard of how to talk about these things. So we get this in Gerard Gendet's new book on the Treatise of Reintegration of Beings. Excellent commentary, and was defended in France. I mess up the words. So in France, it was defended by the board that looks for all these characteristics and rips apart your doctoral thesis. So that's a great book too. So what we're seeing is a trend of initiatic societies, documents, organizations being seen under this kind of academic effort. Started by Favre, which, I don't know, in the 1970s, there was a effort to codify all this, and it did happen in Sorbonne, France. And then now we have a German esoteric chair in Amsterdam, Walter Hanegraaff. These are the 2 chairs. So Hanegraaff is heavily involved in the German presentation of esotericism. All of this needs to be known, because in the Anglophile world, Angleterre, we have lost the, kind of bead on the conversation. We're not part of the updates. We're not getting any of the information. We have no university academic to have this conversation. And so we've been excluded. We're not in their language, and we're not in their publications. And the only publications that have been entrusted to English-speaking individuals are very good by Brill. We got the alchemy stuff by Peter Forshaw, and then we have a little bit more alchemy work in another Brill book, which is about Heinrich Kuhnrath. All that being said, that's very important information. It's not just background for the main topic, because what happens in this Renko book is we're reading the understood consensus that was edited by Hanegraaff, that the German esoteric studies have on this entire dialogue in relationship to the Golden Rosenkreuz. It's an amazing, amazing book. through it, Renko goes through a lot of scholarship. I mean, this is not a lightweight book at all. Like I said, it was originally in German, moved it to English so I could at least read what they're talking about. So going forward, Renko made a study on all of the German Masonic locked vault archive stuff in Berlin. It had been done before, but Renko cohesively put it back together. And this is really good because there's lots of names and lots of German books in this field that we need access to. I'm in the United States of America, so I can't actually get some of the access. I mean, I can, but it's exorbitant and expensive. And so if you come to the Patreon, you're helping with this research ability. I'll be able to get the German book on the Rosicrucian Manifestos. There's a critical edition in Germany of the Rosicrucian Manifestos, which I don't know if anybody has read in America. Because it's in German, and these German scholars are amazing. There's another one that I need to get by a German scholar on the alchemy of the Golden Rosenkreuz. He looked through all the Berlin documents and put together the alchemy. So I could tell you all the names, but it's not important. My subscribers will have access to this book. You'll see I'm not making things up for the sake of being novel. That being said, we have more and more things that have to be talked about. So in English, I'm publishing for the first time a book called The Compass of the Wise. And what was the Compass of the Wise? The Compass of the Wise was a document that was given as Golden Rosenkreuz propaganda to be able to pull people from Freemasonry over to the GuRC. And I'm doing that with the express intention of showing this book as a case study, and not only rhetorical but propaganda techniques and how to pull people over from existing societies into the one that, you know, is basically a mimic of what they call the Rosicrucian Manifestos, which is Chiliastic. And I was like, well, who's in Chile? You know, basically what it is, a Greek word for millennialism. And this is when a group or academic will go through, review everything, and basically their stance is all of that is wrong. We need a new reform. We need to have new education. We need to have everybody understand it a certain way. And when that happens, there's big room for error because what usually happens is the group will assert itself as a propaganda, movement to pull away membership. This has happened since the beginning of esoteric societies. There's been a fight for, people basically to move to their organization. So what they'll do is they'll do a Chiliastic kind of presentation that says, no, they got it all wrong. We're going to teach you the right way. Come to our organization. You'll learn the right way. And basically their entire platform is in saying they got it all wrong. They're never going to tell you the right way because their thesis is actually a antithesis of the original thesis, which is the thing that came before them. And so they are an empty body with nothing there. And usually that's what happens. You become a member of their organization and it falls flat and there's nothing there. And you're like, okay, well, where's this real truth you were talking about? And their basic stance is that's not the truth. And they do this over and over and over. I mean, I could cite esotericist after esotericist, but I won't. So basically what happens is that's what Renko says about the Rosicrucian Manifestos. That's what they were doing. And that is not unique to just the Rosicrucian Manifestos. That happened through Jakob Boehme, through his Lutheran reinterpretations and the view of initiatic societies of Abraham von Frankenberg, who was probably a trained Kabbalist and then started looking at our Western materials through the Opus Magico Kabbalisticum. A lot of that stuff matches right up. But I'm not trying to give a chiliastic presentation and say they're all wrong. I'm saying we have a conversation that's continually evolving, that's continually changing, that we need to get into. That's only happening in Amsterdam right now. And some of the French work of Gendet's society, I think it's the Echo Hout or something. I don't know French and I don't understand a lot of the organizational structures, but it was defended. His thesis, which is in his book, is defended on those grounds. So, Renko Geffarth's book, which you'll get on my Patreon, is about this entire conversation. And he shows how the Golden Rosenkreuz, through very, very rare documents. This book is hard to get in German. I mean, it's a $400 book, $400 book. So I got it in English now and studying it seriously, looking up footnotes. I mean, it has extensive footnotes, every chapter. Everything except for the appendix was translated, which I might add the appendix because that gives an inventory of what was gone through in the Masonic archives in Berlin. And that is important to me. I mean, I don't know. It's not very important to a lot of people. But the reason why is because this doesn't only go through the teachings and the doctrines and the scholarship, and it was edited by Honograph, but it's also a presentation of hidden membership lists, ways to read the Golden Rosenkreuz, and all of that. Now, the reason why this is so important is because I had a friend on Facebook, and you all may know of the book, that recently did a new translation of a Golden Rosenkreuz book, which is very, very good. And basically what that does is it exposes all the degrees. But I think Renko's book gives a lot more context, and it gives the academic view of the Golden Rosenkreuz, so you'll understand and be able to contextualize that material. And also my new translation of Compass of the Wise with annotated basic instruction on, Renko's views of Compass of the Wise, basically is the foundation for this new book. Will show you how this was the rhetorical propagandist device that really pulled people into the Golden Rosenkreuz and the super secret society stuff. And so it's a very, very good choice to do our case study for what's happening. So with that being said, what's happening is we're seeing a group talk about very well-known esoteric criteria, which are the 4 core criteria of Favua. What is happening is they are becoming authorities in a chiliastic way of throwing out all the esoteric studies before them. They're saying, we're the new group, we have all the understanding of these esoteric qualities, and what that does is infers the 5th criteria. It says, because we understand, got full comprehensions of all the 4 criteria, you should rely on us to teach this to you. And that is why this is so cunning, because it's hard to figure out. It's very difficult to figure out that they become empty. The language becomes symbolic of the 4 criteria, which is kind of like, yes, you are in an esoteric milieu, and no, it's not Christianity, is where it gets to. There's no real deep thing that these teachers give. Now, there are some teachers out there that will give you the breakdown of what all this means. And those are the teachers that I would advocate for, not chiliastic ones. Even Saint-Martin was a chiliastic or millenarian reformer. Is basically what happens is this group comes in, they try to reform the old group, but their reform is all about saying what the the old group didn't do, not giving you the presentation of the new group. So I saw this as a trend through almost all initiatic societies. And it's not me being chiliastic. I'm just saying that this is a pattern. Saint-Martin did it with his Enlightenment era French rationalism. He fought it because he came from the standpoint of the strict observance, which is that there's spiritual intermediaries which are guiding human beings. On and on and on. There's a lot of stuff to talk about, but that's the basis of this book. I only like to go 15 minutes. I don't want to give an entire TED talk on all this stuff, but I haven't finished Compass of the Wise, but it is definitely coming. And then I'm probably going to do a complete translation of both volumes of Shaudi, of Baron something Shaudi. He was the guy who started to infuse this idea of the unknown philosopher into Masonry, into understandings, and I think a lot of this stuff adds up and links up, so that'll be the second series of books. It'll probably be 2 books. They're big French books, though, so it could be 3. Once it all breaks down, once it's all translated, I'll look at it and see what it is. And then I have The Black Stone of Masonry coming out, which is a study of Shaudi's alchemical Masonic documents in relationship to Sendivogus. So I'm really excited about the direction everything is going. I think it's comprehensive enough. Come to Being Reintegrated Patreon at patreon.com/beingreintegrated and see more content like this and have access to Renko's book as a paid subscriber. Thanks a lot.